Hello YouTube! This is another installment out of my notes when it concerns brewing of mead. This is Safale US 05 dry ale yeast. According to the bag, the characteristics is an American ale yeast producing well-balanced beers with a very clear, crisp and crisp end palate. God, the writing on this is so small. Sedimentation medium. Final gravity low to medium. And the standard pitching and everything else. Hopefully I'll have a picture of it over here, I'm thinking. The packet itself, so you know what I'm looking at. Now, my notes state for this being used in a mead. I broke it down into 4 categories: look, smell, taste, and overall. I found this way of rating things from Drink My Brew. It's a podcast whereupon they, 3 or 4 of them, go and they drink certain beers and they give them this kind of rating, and it seems to be very, very well done, this style that they use. So I decided to integrate their method into the mead. So Safale US 05 dry ale yeast, also known as an American pale ale. For mead, the look was a slightly yellow, clear. I called it a weak Mountain Dew-like, lemon-like, watery, with very slight tearing on the glass. Now, the tearing on the glass, in case you don't know, that is when you spin it around in the glass and you get that little like a residual inside the glass itself. How it kind of runs back down the interior of the glass. The faster, the more even, the more it tears up. So think of it as I can't think of the proper term right now. Not viscosity of the fluid, but it's along that line. It's the density of the fluid itself and how it clings to a smooth surface. So this pertains to mouthfeel. The smell was described as like a new wine, or a fruity white wine type of smell. The taste is pear-like. It has a slight bitter, a very candy sweet, syrupy mouthfeel. Some describe it as much more of a tangerine bitter aftertaste on this. Now, please understand, all of these different meads that I make is the same recipe, which is the standard 4 pounds of clover honey in 1 gallon spring water, and mixed in that is 1 small orange. The method for the orange is that it is the whole ingredients and everything is a knockoff of a medieval recipe that I found years and years and years ago, where the orange acts as a yeast nutrient. That's why there's no yeast nutrient in any of these recipes that I tend to use. So that's why the numbers here, the ABV and percent of sugar and gravity and everything else, if you're wondering about outside, there is no outside anything. It's because the orange helps on that. So back to the description. As for the taste, pear-like, with a tangerine bitter aftertaste. Oddly, 1 small orange did not make that large amount of a difference in this particular version of the mead, using an American Pale Ale yeast. Lastly is the overall. Surprise, fruity with slight pear, near wine-like. Good look, good smell. a little too sweet. Now the ABVs, prematurely it's 4%. Premature because I need to go back and find out with that particular recipe what is the starting gravity and the starting ABV and blah 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 with that. This is all end results. Percentage of sugar is 9% and gravity is at 31. Now the problem I had with this Safale US 05 American Pale Ale is that I could not get it to stop its fermentation on time. Now the usual procedure is that it starts off for 1 month in its first fermentator. It usually gets done in that 1 month's time. Then it goes to its second fermentator, whereupon it sits there for 2 months. So this is a 3-month long period from beginning to end for the whole brewing, and that's usually it. As for aging it another, say 6 months or a year, because it's mead, I'm too busy drinking it, rather than letting it age to that point in time. The thing is, this stuff would not stop bubbling. I tried other yeasts. Since then, with my notes, I'll do them in future videos, and everything seems to end on time, but not this stuff. This stuff went for 6 months, and it becomes frustrating when you take it out of the first fermentator in the first month, roll it into the second fermentator, you're expecting 2 months to go, and when that's like 4 months, you're starting to wonder what went wrong. These are the results from that particular run. Now I'm redoing the run, and that might be another video in the future as well, and so far it is on time. The first month is just about up. It will be, as from the taping of this video, that will be done in, I think, next week, when it'll go into its second fermenter. Maybe I'll have some shots of that. I got a video of that. You'll see what it looks like. But yeah, right now everything that's going with it is going absolutely per the book. So I'm not quite sure what went wrong with this first time through. But real quick, as in a quick recap here of Safale 05. Let's see if I can find it since I forcibly closed the book. There it is, American Pale Ale, Safale US 05, dry ale yeast. Overall, had a surprise fruity taste to it that it should not have had, but did. That was slight pear-like and very reminiscent of a new white wine. Had a great look, had a great smell, though it was too much on the sweet side. Tentative ABV is 4%, percent of sugar is at 9%, and gravity is at 31. So there you go, guys. That's Safale US 05 in mead. Until next time, keep on drinking.